Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch. Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit dit to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Wednesday, April 20th. I know you guys coming at you a day earlier. Well, and back to our normal schedule, normal regular programming. Used to be Wednesday, so it's good to be back in the saddle here, but just for 1 week. Just for 1 week, is me and Lana will both be out of town tomorrow. So making the most of it because it's baseball season. So we're not gonna miss an episode during baseball season. And I know you're going, what about last week? And well, you can thank Allegiant for that one. So it doesn't count.
Free Tony.
I hope if you're on campus or around campus, I hope you got a chest bump today. That's I didn't know if he could top a lemonade stand and free pizza, but I think he did.
Yeah. I mean, I'd pay $2 for a chest bump.
Yeah, that seems a little steep. I saw they were throwing out you could get a toss at the dunking booth for $1. So maybe we need to listen, Tony. I know we got to pay for that new stadium and stuff, but we may need to talk prices.
Yeah, but they'll pay it. I mean, all those girls that got off early to go down there and chest bump with Tony.
It's true. Shout out. That was SAE had to pay back after kicking off. Wasn't it them that kicked off?
Oh, is that who it was?
I think it was them. Is Tony aware?
Dude, those guys suck.
Hey, it is for a good cause, for wounded warriors. Love to see the Tennessee staff, Tony Vitello, the athletic department, making the most of not a fun situation. As I think everyone can agree, you never want to touch an umpire. And I know you guys were saying, weren't you all cheering on the girl who harassed him in the airport? I wasn't necessarily cheering it on. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Ted Lasso had some good advice when there's some bad officiating. But yeah, you'd like to have him back for, you would have had him back for Friday night if it was just the ejection. So not a fun situation, but also Jeffrey's a little B word. I mean, he dove. In a lot of other leagues, he gets a card for that, for simulating there. But it is what it is.
Yeah, flop.
Flop for sure. Tennessee is going to Florida this week. Hope you guys caught the bat flip at 6:30, where Landon and Dylan recap the whole weekend for you and previewed Florida a little bit. There's also been some breaking news since the bat flip came off. Kendall Rogers tweeted that their left-handed pitcher Hunter Barco said he's going to be shut down indefinitely with elbow discomfort. I'd imagine that puts him out of the weekend series with Tennessee coming down to Gainesville.
Yeah, and he's their best pitcher by far. I think his ERA is right around 2 something. It's one of the best in the SECs and the SEC. Also, 69 strikeouts on the year. That's one of the top 5. Yeah, nice. In the SEC as well. So, yeah, really, I mean, we lose Dollander, so it's not like it's, oh, my God, we're only going to lose this series because Hunter Barco's gone down. No. And we don't even have our head coach for 2 of those games. So I don't want to hear any excuses from Florida.
Right. And listen, I'll go with this from a Tennessee fan that's cheering for the number 1 team in the country, consensus number 1 for 3 weeks now. I'll take everyone at their best. I don't need a down team to feel good, to feel comfortable going into a weekend series. This team's taking care of business even when the cards have been stacked against them. Last weekend against Alabama, you look at traveling down to what all the Ole Miss fans throw out as just this rowdy environment. They only put about 300 people in the stands last night to a loss to, is that Southeast Missouri? Who was that? Who'd they lose to?
Yeah, SEMO.
Yeah. So, you know, Tennessee can do it. Goes into Vanderbilt, has to deal with that just obnoxious old man that should not even be allowed in the stadium. Shouldn't be allowed within 100 feet of any school, let alone an elementary school.
You talking about Tim
T-
Corbin or the Vandy Whistle?
you're right. I do need to clarify. They've got two guys there that shouldn't be. So, Tennessee can handle it. It does kind of, it does suck. You don't want to see a guy go down with injury, no matter you're rooting against him or for him. But like you said, it doesn't really shouldn't change the landscape of the series too much as far as when you look at Tennessee's. It is kind of part of, especially baseball, when you play so many games. It kind of is part of it. You're gonna have guys that are out games due to injury. Got to have other guys step up, and Tennessee had that Saturday night when Dollander goes down in the first. And does Florida have that? Do they have the pitching staff, the bullpen? They don't have to go directly to a bullpen. They get to start another guy, but do they have that to go a series with somebody?
Yeah, I mean that's to be determined. They're a team that's all over the place, a lot like the SEC, but they, beat Alabama, then they lose to I had it written down. Oh, the lost to LSU, got swept by
Mhm.
Georgia, then beat Arkansas, then lost to Vandy. So they're just all over the place. I don't understand them. I think they do have some talent. I mentioned Hunter Barco on the bat flip that he is, their best pitcher. But so I mean, if you're Tennessee's lineup, you lose your best pitcher. I mean, you gain some confidence. You're licking your chops. Excited. I think the Tennessee has the best lineup in the country, and if you think otherwise, I mean, your
You-
opinion's
you-
invalid.
You're arguing with the home run kings, so
Exactly. So yeah, get on our level. I mean, Florida is second in the SEC in home runs. Tennessee, I think, has 94, and I think
95.
95.
Well, that one. Speaking of Tim Corbin,
Oh yeah, that's for sure. And then Florida's right behind them with like 67, 68, something like that. So I mean, it's not even close.
no, and just looking at, and you mentioned them getting swept by Georgia. I didn't watch the LSU series. I mean, that Thursday night loss at Georgia, that was a close game. It's a team that's going to stay in it. They're not necessarily going to go away like Alabama does on Sunday. Um, you think you'd get up a little bit more playing the number one team in the country, but it was our Super Bowl, Landon. So,
Right.
maybe we had more on the line.
Mhm.
So, but I mean, you look at a team that's been so up and down. That one's a little bit more scary for me because it shows they can get up for games. And when you're looking at how will they play Tennessee, it does it because you kind of not that Alabama was a bad team. They are obviously. I think they're gonna um, they'll finish in the SEC where they want to be, especially with the Mississippi's being down. I think they've put themselves in a good position, but you kind of knew what you were going to get out of them. Obviously, there's some fearful things there with what they brought, and I thought like you said, they probably hit Tennessee the best. You mentioned that on the bat flip. Florida, though, it seems that they can play, and they, maybe you do put them away. They don't seem to go away fast. Maybe you do put them away fast, and maybe they don't get up for a Saturday, Sunday after that. But right now it seems like on days they want to play, they can play. I don't know how that mentality works with them, but they do get up for games. And if you're going to get up for anyone, it's going to be the number one team in the country coming to your house.
Yeah, absolutely. They're 6-9 in the conference so far. So again, kind of middle of the pack, kind of like everybody else besides Tennessee and Arkansas, and they were able to beat Arkansas, which I don't. It was at Florida, so I do think they're a lot better at home than they are on the road, and I don't know if that has to do with their youth or what exactly it has to do with, but
They've got a
um,
big ballpark.
oh yeah, it's massive, massive. So we'll see. I think Tennessee should definitely win the series, and you know, you beat Ole Miss, you swept Ole Miss, you swept Vandy. I'm not sitting here calling for a sweep because I know it's the SEC, and at some point you're you might hit a wall, but I think Tennessee should absolutely win this series.
Yeah, and we'll play you anywhere but Smoky Stadium. And if we do lose, who wants to be the number one overall seed? That's they don't win national championships, so that's dumb.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I, that's the dumbest argument of all time. I don't get it. What changes being the number 1 seed in the tournament to being the 3 seed, or the I think Coastal Carolina won it as the like 8 or 9 seed. What changes it? I mean, you still got to play the same teams.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Just like, I mean, yeah, you probably do. Talking about when Tennessee was undefeated, yeah, you drop a game, it's part of it. But everyone, like, I kind of just want to get this one out of the way. It's like, I mean, if you can win them all, like, why not? I don't need to lose. I get it. It probably is going to happen, but I don't need to lose.
Right.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. This is we kind of talked about this. It's Tennessee kind of has a fun outlook the rest of the season. I know I'm getting ahead of Florida, but looking at Florida, you get a chance to go into a rival that, point blank, they've been better than you in recent history, and you get to go in and you kind of get to do your business as the number 1 team. This is the team you should want to really beat in the SEC East. It's a team that a lot of you and Dylan talked about how talented they are. Like, it's a team that's hard to beat in the SEC East. So going down there, like, you have Tennessee seems to enjoy being the hunted. You have kind of all the chips laid out in front of you, and they kind of have that laid out in front of them the rest of the way. You've got teams that you really want to beat, whether they're a rival, they're a historically good program that all their fans think, Tennessee's just really new to baseball. They haven't been paying attention to college baseball because Tony Vitello mentioned this. I don't know if you've listened to Bussin' with the Boys. Tennessee's had a ton of talent come through. The right pieces haven't been in place for whatever reason, to have, just loaded teams or something like that. But there's been a ton of talent come through Tennessee. He mentioned the year before, I'm blanking on his name all of a sudden. He came here playing for the Reds from Farragut.
Nick Senzel.
Yeah, Senzel was here the year before he got here, and you go back and history past that, like, Tennessee's got plenty of talent. So but it'd be nice to show it to those guys, number 1 overall, and they can cry and whine how Tennessee's new to baseball. But the fact of the matter is, it's present. We're kicking your ass, so enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. It got me fired up, Caleb.
You're welcome. I mean, listen, Georgia, I hate Georgia, but I would laugh at everyone that talked about the 40 years crap. Like, who cares? We kicked your ass this year.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Exactly.
We live in the present, not the past, for a reason.
Exactly. Unless it starts feeling like 98 outside, then we get a little fired up.
Right. Right. But yeah, I do like what you said with kind of a timing issue. I mean, Tennessee has had some really good players come through here, and I think Chad mentioned that when he was on with us. Zerker, he was saying that it's just, it's about timing. You get a Nick Senzel, but maybe you don't have the pitching. Maybe you have a dominant pitcher, like a Hoshaver or
Right.
whatever, and it just, maybe the lineup's not in place. So there's a ton of stuff that has to go into a really good baseball team. And when you're playing in a conference like the SEC, where there's so many dominant
Right.
players, guys that are going to be in the majors, like Pete Alonso and Dansby Swanson and guys like that Sonny Gray, you gotta bring it, you gotta have it. And, Tennessee's just now getting to the place where they got it and others don't. And people don't like it.
They don't like it. Ole Miss thinks they're going to get Tony Vitello, when they fire Bianca. It's like, guys, they're like, Tennessee's small stadium. Tennessee doesn't support their baseball program, blah, 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 all this bull crap. He just got a check written for the stadium he wanted to build. He's getting, and then the deep pockets bull crap. Listen, if Nico, I'm not going to say his last name, only Landon can here. If he can get paid $8 million, they can pony up the money for Tony Vitello. There's no doubt about it. And then, I mean, I think it's very clear too. Tony Vitello is happy to be the man. He's not here. He's not, picking up where for Arkansas fans where Dave Van Horn left off. He's not doing that crap. This is gonna be Tony. Like, there's gonna be something named after Tony Vitello before he leaves here. And I expect him to be here in the long run. And it's hard to say that as a Tennessee fan when you had the Kiffin thing, but Kiffin didn't have the success Tony Vitello has, so it's different. And he's coached the number 1 team in the nation. It's not like there hasn't been any investment from his team or his staff or his administration. He is looking at a monopoly board, and the other players on the board are like, where do you want to build? What do you want? We're going to pay you. We're going to give you all of our money. He's like, everyone's working for him right now. Why the hell would he leave that situation?
Well,
So it's just a
and
silly
the
argument.
guys he's recruited and all that, if he is just even if it's the same amount of buy-in than it is everywhere else, which I think it's probably a little bit more when you look at how Tennessee's attacked NIL and how they've gathered around this baseball program. But, when it's your guys, the stadium that you're built, why would you go to you're the best team in the country. Why would you go to Ole Miss? They're a freaking dumpster fire right now.
Yeah,
That
it,
doesn't
it's an
make any sense.
it's an absurd take,
And Knoxville trumps Oxford 1,000 times out of 1,000. So
they
why
don't
the
even play
hell?
in they don't even play in Oxford. They play in like University of Mississippi or whatever they name their town that the campus is actually in. Fun fact. I think it's University of Mississippi. So they're not even in Oxford. They're even in a worse place.
You hated your state so much you became Ole Miss instead of just Mississippi.
I too like there's something to and it's funny, Tony Vitello is like, I think culture's overused and maybe it is. And I know like I'm not saying nowhere else can replicate what Tony Vitello and what Tennessee has done, but I mean there's something to kind of that like perfect unity. Like Tennessee fans love Tony Vitello. By everything we can tell, Tony Vitello loves Tennessee fans. This team loves the fans, loves the university, and back there, they reciprocate that. There's like this just yin and yang going on right now, and it's awesome. It really truly feels like not only did you find a good baseball coach, you also found like a really good fit. And it seems like the attitude that the fans have isn't the attitude Vitello has. There's not a single Tennessee fan you'll talk to that is pissed the way Tony acted on Saturday. I think everyone would agree you don't want to get tossed for 4 games if you don't have to, is what it is. But no one's going to sit here and complain about what he got, especially when you got the result you wanted. But it's just like the hornet's nest is just alive and well. And maybe you can go get that at Mississippi, but it's really hard to freaking do because it's not just the team that's riled up. It's the fans, it's the admin. I mean, it's now the softball team. Like it's just so much investment and rally around this team. It would be very, very, very hard to replicate all of that. Do you get it in the dugout anywhere V goes? I'm sure. He is who he is. But to get it, to get it 6,000 strong around you, everyone in that stadium any given weekend is fully bought in to what's happening.
Oh,
And
100%.
that's hard to replicate.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you look at anything that they do, like the where they have kids go run the bases. I mean, there's like 1,000 kids on that field. I'm like, where did all these kids come from? So I mean, it's fully invested in Tennessee baseball and even the media coverage. Like these guys get to have a personality outside of
Right.
playing on the diamond. They get to have opportunities lined up for them because the media access and obviously that comes with the head coach of allowing them to do so, allowing them to have
Mhm.
this sort of personality where you're able to have like Waggles. You're sell a Waggle shirt with your name on the back of it. They're selling daddy hats. I mean, how many daddy hats are in the stands on a weekend? I mean, it's
May see
insane.
some mommy hats here soon.
Maybe. Is that for Karen Weekly? Is
so
that
much
what we're
fun,
gonna do?
man. I guess, dude. I mean, they busted out a daddy hat for Sunday, and that quickly turned to mommy. I think it's fitting. I think it adds like a uniqueness to the softball. They're obviously carrying over what baseball's doing, but it's their own thing, and they do what they want to do. And they even looks like they have a fur coat now and dollar bills. I mean, dude, it's fun. It's a fun
It's a
time to be a
Tennessee
ball.
thing. We just got swag now.
That's right. Swagged out.
Swagged out.
But look, they're playing Virginia Tech tonight. I think they're ranked 3rd in the country. I don't know what that score is. Maybe we get some more weekly bombs.
I like that.
I love it. I love it.
And we had
Tennessee
so much
does
fun this weekend. I know we talked
Oh
about
my
it on
gosh,
Sunday a
dude.
little bit, but it was a lot of fun.
Oh, and listen, I was asked what could the baseball program do for me. I like what Landon said. When you rebuild this team, just give us like a 10-foot by 10-foot gated area in right field and let us have at the right fielder. Just let us tee off on them. And don't worry, my voice carries on Fridays and Saturdays. By Sundays, it's toast. But Fridays and Saturdays, you can bet the home plate umpire is going to hear me.
Yeah, let me buy a drink package too. So
like a
like they
cruise.
do on a cruise. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, give us that 10 foot by 10 foot area. We'll put more than what the fire marshal would allow in there, and we'll go at them. That like you mentioned, Carlos didn't even make it into the lineup on Sunday after the Missouri game on Saturday. The right fielder, I know his name was Will, don't know his last name, don't care, for Alabama. He got a night off thanks to Jeffrey. So it just is what it is.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, hopefully the event staff lets us. Him telling us to calm down, I'm like, dude, we're not cussing, we're just yelling.
Well,
Like
he was just he's a turd.
Yeah.
And
He
the funny
might
thing
have had a
is,
rough day, I don't know, but it was
we're
just
openly. I mean, the extent of his powers, we're openly making fun of him, and he can't do anything because we're not saying anything inappropriate. We're not like I would have loved to try. Like honestly, if I gotten tossed from that game, I would have. It would have been a great story because it would have been from only the usher, and he would have had hell to pay for sure.
I would have chest bumped him.
Landon's out of there for 4 games. I wonder if it's 4 home games or if you get to come back Sunday versus Florida.
Oh yeah, I got to be able to come back.
I mean, the cops, Kennedy Chandler. There's some UTPD officer that looks like Kennedy Chandler. If you all see him, maybe Kennedy. I don't know. Maybe found a new job, but he came over there and was just. I mean, he was having a good old time. Just like, don't say anything about mamas, girlfriends, or cuss, and you're good. Like, all right, well, you took away half our insults, but thank you. Beyond that, we're good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Can't wait to do it again. I don't know what. Listen, somebody gave me tickets on Sunday. I will pay for my tickets. I'm not saying to give them to me. I mean, if you want to do that, I'm obviously not going to turn down a free ticket. But hit me up if you're never able to make it to a game. I may not even sit in your seat, so you could probably tell some friends that are coming that they can have them. I'll probably be in right field. So yeah, let's work something out there. I don't have tickets to every game.
You need to buy season tickets with me next year. Is what you need to do.
I mean, listen, Landon's got more money than I do. I don't know if I can afford that MVP section.
Shit.
That cheese was good though. That
It
cheese
was
about maybe
good.
drop that cheese maybe about drop the money it costs for an MVP ticket.
Dude, I'm undefeated when I have nachos in the stadium.
Yeah, so everybody can blame Landon for the Alabama loss, and then I guess Tech might count as a home game, so he probably didn't eat nachos at home. So,
well, I wasn't at the game. In person, I'm undefeated when I eat nachos in Lindsey Nelson.
So now, when do you eat them? Like, did you go? Because we didn't go and get nachos until like the 3rd or 4th inning on Sunday. Did you get some pregame too?
No, not pregame.
No pregame
I usually go like fourth inning.
Some honcho nachos. That's what they need to name them. That
honcho nachos. I like that.
That's what they need to name them. We've got Oppo Taco. We'll just start calling Beck bombs. If you've got tacos, you can have nachos.
Honcho homers.
I need someone to explain Oppo Taco to me. Like, how did it get taco? Just because it rhymes with Oppo?
It doesn't even rhyme.
I think it rhymes. Oppo Taco? That rhymes.
No.
I think it does.
It doesn't. It doesn't perfectly rhyme. No, it does not.
I think that. Yes, I'm pretty sure that rhymes.
I think it's called something when it sounds similar, but it's not. It doesn't rhyme.
Pass. I don't know the answer to that.
Pass and grass, that rhymes.
But the only thing you're changing that's taco, Oppo.
So anything with O at the end rhymes.
Depends. Is the sound the same at the end? Is because can O's be pronounced different?
Stoppo rhymes with Oppo.
That's the same. I feel like a crazy person right now.
Dude, I've had 4 people try to FaceTime me in the last a minute.
Get him on the show.
It's Riley. You don't want him on the show.
I do want him on the show. I want to get his sports takes.
Oh God. The Predators are awesome.
I'd like to hear how he thinks his fantasy team did because he didn't look at it. So I'd like to hear what he thinks happened.
Oh, he's trash.
I've been telling Chad we're gonna get him on the show, and he hadn't come on. So
I'll have Chad on the show when he gets good at betting. How about that?
Well, then we're never having him on. That's not fair. That's not fair. Oh man, I can't wait for Florida.
What about
Joey
Chad
from
Zucker
Tampa.
being professional get back coach?
Dude, he's solid at it too. Doesn't he have to grab? That's the most impressive part. He doesn't even touch guys.
Yeah.
He's just a force. He's a guy you see walk out there and you know, all right, game over.
Yeah. All right. I
And
need to
and he
stop.
did it without the mustache. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Because the mustache is like a universal sign for this guy doesn't put up with shit.
Well, it's like a push broom. They're just pushing it
Yeah,
pushing it
exactly.
out.
Exactly. I've noticed my dog has been more attentive to me since I've grown this out, since I shaved. So
It takes you more seriously.
yeah, it's just like Brutus.
Give him that look.
Oh, I can't even see him right now. He's laying on the floor. He's got a whole nice bed behind him. He's just laying on the floor.
Nice.
But no, I was gonna say though, Joey from Tampa, he's gonna have family in town. I don't know if I'd want to mess with a man like that when he's got family in town the way he played this weekend.
That's a good point. And kept it going last night. I mean, he got that SEC Player of the Week award, and he was like, "I'm just going to show y'all, I'm going to win it this week too."
Yeah, why not repeat? You got it once.
Yeah.
Let's go get it twice. That
Yeah.
was fun. That was a lot of fun. I like what you mentioned about him being in the 2-hole. We talked about that, I believe, on Friday night. It's Tennessee's in desperate need of somebody consistent in that 2-hole. Not only just someone that's consistent, but someone consistently there.
Yeah.
And I think that would add a ton to, how nice would it be to get a guy like Jordan Beck up with a man or two on base in the bottom of the first? What does
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
do? What does that do to the rest of the game? And I know
You
that's
saw
happened.
Saturday.
Yes, exactly. So I would love to see that. And it would just, like I said, getting some consistency there, because Jarrell has never been. You know why he's been in the game. He's been strong in the lineup. Sure, this was his best weekend, but this would have been anybody's best weekend if you put his numbers on any player in the country.
Mhm.
So it's not like this was just this wasn't otherworldly for him. This is just otherworldly for a baseball player.
Yeah.
And so I think now if he's playing, maybe he should have already been there anyways, but now if he's playing like this, it's almost like, can he even be denied?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is like he's got the power. So do you want to keep him behind some of those other guys? But dude, like you mentioned, that 2-hole has been so inconsistent, and if you can get more guys on base, roll with it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a guy that I need to look up at the stats and really pay attention to it. But he seems like he's definitely in the top 2 or 3 in guys and strikeouts. Like, he does not strike out very often.
That's another thing for a lot of this team. A lot of this team has, batting average is pretty good across the board, but on base percentage is real strong. We talked about how Tuesday and Friday was just abnormal for Tennessee. Swinging at balls they don't normally swing at, the pop outs, not barreling up balls like they normally do. But this team gets on base, whether it be base on balls or getting hits, and they benefit from the occasional error. That one last night Bellarmine had that they were almost able to get out of the inning, and that second baseman just, well, I don't know what he was doing. But they get on base, and yeah, they benefit from errors sometimes, but that's baseball. So yeah, I mean, getting a guy there that can get you on base and maybe get your leadoff runner into, onto third, definitely get him into scoring position. Not a guy that's going to ground out and double plays often, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's third in starters and strikeouts. He's got 18 on the year, out of 121 at bats. The only people that have less than him is Jared Dickey and Drew Gilbert, and both those guys have played less games than he has. So
makes sense.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, Joey. I'd love to see Jarrell have another great weekend. He definitely, you can tell that dude's worked a ton, especially in the field. And I mean, if you get Tennessee lost the infield they had, pretty much the entire infield outside of Luke Lipsius here. If Jake Rucker continues playing, I was referencing last year's infield. If Trey Lipscomb and Jarrell Ortega continue the way they've been playing the last 2 weeks, you're going to have an argument for having one of the best infields in the SEC again.
Yeah, absolutely. And those two guys were the two guys that we talked about the most in that Georgia Southern series. And for them to have the years that they have. Jarrell's kind of picked it up lately, but Trey's been pretty consistent throughout the entire year. Man, that's just huge for this lineup. When it was kind of question marks coming into the season, like what do you look like in the infield, second base, third base? Completely new guys there as starters. We thought Trey would be the starter at third base. We had no clue who was going to be the starter at second base.
Mm-hmm.
And those two guys have been phenomenal that when you look at it, like you kind of understand why Tennessee was so low in the preseason polls. Like you just didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, obviously some people had them ranked way too low, but there were a lot of question marks.
Mm-hmm.
We also didn't know Drew Beam existed in the capacity that he did before the season.
They don't know, but now they know.
They don't. And that was, I know we've talked about it a lot, but I mean, I guess that hadn't been said a ton until I can't remember who mentioned it, but every single, which may be won't be the story of this weekend, but every single starting pitcher for Tennessee is a newcomer.
Mm-hmm.
Dolander transferred from Georgia Southern, and then the two freshmen. I mean, that's insane.
And everybody's underclassmen.
Yeah.
Sechrist, he was a freshman last year, so he's just a sophomore. Blade's a sophomore. I think Blade is draft eligible going into this draft just because of his age, but a lot of young talent in this pitching rotation, and you get a lot of it back next year.
I'm gonna be fired up for next year. We still got a lot of work to do this year.
Got to slow down.
Yeah, we got to slow down. I can't wait for the watch party. See, and that's the thing. I gotta get in the stadium for the Super Regional this year that Tennessee inevitably hosts, but that watch party is gonna be fun too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that I want to see it go 3 games, but Tennessee fans would show up for game 3.
But you want to see it go 3 games.
No, I'd love. Oh god, especially if it's LSU again. I was looking at pictures today of the Super Regional, the celebration pictures, and I was like, man, why did all those people in it was down the left field line, or not down the left field line, but right behind the away dugout. I was like, man, why all those people leave while we're still celebrating? Oh, that was the LSU section. That thing was cleared out in the 8th.
Yeah, that's how Alabama got on Sunday. That was nice.
Also, there was one Alabama fan on Friday night that he lived it up. Shout out to him. He got every bit of his weekend's money worth. He wouldn't shut up. He was all about it. So, credit to him. 1-2 ain't bad against the number 1 team in the country.
There you go.
1-2 ain't bad.
Celebrate that. That's a loser mentality.
See, series wins are better, but I mean, getting a game's fun too, I guess.
Right.
It's probably Jeffrey's dad or something.
Probably. All right. Little recruiting.
Yeah, God, dude. I know I'm getting too fired up for way too many things right now.
Yeah, and there was some news today regarding NIL, and I don't know like the extent of it, but apparently the governor ruled that I guess coaches can be at NIL events. So
right, which I don't understand why the governor needed to rule on that. I don't understand why they couldn't before. It's all very confusing to me.
Yeah. I just don't. Whatever. Cool, I guess. I mean,
I think
what
that's
it's telling me is that coaches can be involved, even though they're not supposed to. But it seems like that's what it's gearing toward.
Right, and well, I think more so than I think they probably still can't necessarily broker deals, but they can work with like Spire and stuff like that. And I think too, I think it's gonna be a great recruiting tool. You may not get a big deal ever. You may not get a big deal out the gate, but we're gonna do it together. Like I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna show up to Alumni Hall with you. It's gonna we're gonna get you some money. We're gonna, you can't do this at any other school. And I'm sure there's going to be other, deals in place at some other SEC schools where they can do the same thing. But for now, it doesn't seem like it's across the board. So I think it's just another way that you can go on the road and tell guys, this is how Tennessee can support you where other people can't.
Right. Yeah. It's a good thing. I mean,
Alumni
don't
Hall
know
was packed.
exactly what it means, but it's a good thing.
Right. Alumni Hall was packed. I can't imagine that line if Tony V shows up with. I know Beck, Lipscomb, Russell, guess Gilbert probably was there too. And that line was pretty insane. It probably just grows exponentially if Tony Vitello's there.
Oh, for sure. Or any Frank Anderson, if he's never going to do that. But if he popped up, like people would go there just to like shake his hand or have a ball signed or something like that. So
After Saturday, we need to get Randy Boyd involved in some NIL deals. Maybe get Frank Anderson on some pet safe, invisible fence stuff. Like, hey man, this is your line. You
no,
can't come
we're
past
we're
the
done with Randy Boyd. He had his NIL deal us playing at Smoky Stadium. So his wooden bat idea that was terrible. No. He's canceled for now. Stay away from the baseball team.
Well, let him try his pet safe stuff first, Outland. Like let us see if we can get Frank Anderson a deal there, and then we'll go.
All right, we'll see. But yeah, another big recruit in the boat for Tennessee. Seemed to got some momentum going. They land their second overall, second highest rated recruit in this class so far, and 4-star edge rusher Caleb Herring, brother of 2022 signee Elijah Herring out of Riverdale in Murfreesboro. I mentioned he's a 4-star. He's 6'5", 206, 6'5.5", 206. Number one player in Tennessee, top 50 player. So man, I mean, this is a big pickup for Tennessee.
And a defensive
guy, a position that you can't have enough edge rushers. You can't. Okay. It's with this day and age, with the passing and how important the quarterbacks are. Edge rushers are not as important as quarterbacks, but they're pretty damn close.
Right.
Got to have those guys on your defense to make a difference. And it's the first time Tennessee's had the top player in Tennessee since 2020, and that was Key Lawrence, which didn't end up at Tennessee very long. But I like this pickup. It is, you got Elijah. He's made some noise in the spring, so having two brothers in state that were some of the top players in the state, that's really cool to see. I mean, Tennessee had two signees, and one was Elijah in last year's signing class. You already have 5 committed in this year's, so making the state a priority, building those relationships, and it seems to be paying off.
Absolutely. Love to see it. Love the in-state stuff. Get that ball rolling. And I know you can't blame it entirely on Josh Heupel and his staff. The lack of in-state, tough coming in first year, trying to do that. And 2022 wasn't a grand year either, but starting out looking good in 2023, and better late than never.
Yeah, for sure.
Better late than never. Anything else you want to hit on for recruiting? Let's talk more football.
Yeah, let's get to football. Don't have anything else for recruiting. I mean, it just seems like Tennessee's got some momentum. It seems like everybody is putting Tennessee in their top 5, 6. It just seems like Tennessee's a cool school, even if maybe you're not. That's not the school you end up going to. You at least want to come visit and see what it's about, because it seems everybody else is about it. So really cool to see and get some of that momentum. And I don't know, man. Josh Heupel has just something about him. I know you're still kind of, you're still kind of jury's out a little bit, but I mean,
you just listen. I love the momentum. You can't argue the jury's not out still.
Oh yeah, I mean, I agree. But it just seems like he's low key. Like he doesn't like nothing that he does just bothers me.
Oh no, not at all. I mean,
and maybe I'm saying it differently if he's gone, but all the people that said he couldn't recruit or anything like that. I mean, that it just doesn't seem very true.
Yeah, right. Like you said, if he was, maybe it changed if he's gone, but I'm really trying to think of something that would frustrate me if he was fired right now. Obviously, probably the circumstances of that would, whatever that would be. But I think you talk about, it's hard to be it's hard to be a coach on your side. Coaching jobs are never won in press conferences ever. They
Right.
can only be lost. And I mean, talking about like some losses and sometimes that I haven't agreed with what he's done. It's like it's hard to look at him and be like that was not fun. I don't, that makes me nervous. So something like that. Nothing's been alarming to me. So I love the way I love the way he handled the Ole Miss stuff and how you respond to that. As far as the situation that happened, but I just felt like it wasn't an over the top answer. It wasn't a Butchism. Like he didn't try to make some slogan off of it. He was just straight up and what he thought of it and thought of the situation and kind of said like I would have probably done the same thing if I was in your shoes. So got a little bit of that got tossed in without directly saying that. So I like Josh Heupel a lot. I think there's still a lot of questions to be answered, but the fact of the matter is he's gotten the number one quarterback in the 2023 class. He's done a lot with what he's been dealt, and I think that's it's kind of tough. Looking back at the season, I'm like I think he did what he probably should have done, knowing what you know about every team. But I think there still were there were still some big wins there, and Pitt's first like a game like Pitt that you probably could have won if you start the right guy. But nobody knew he was the right guy. Probably knew Milton was the wrong guy, but you didn't know he was the right guy. So it's just it's really tough. And I know a lot of people, me included, wanted to see Harrison Bailey. Well, it seems like you got the right guy out of the three in the QB room that started the year last year.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, it's tough. Like I said, jury's still out. I can make a case for Josh Heupel. I don't know if I can make a case against Josh Heupel right now. So I'll say that. Right now, man. Right now, man's getting acquitted. Okay. So,
yeah, he's getting the job done. He's doing all the right things.
Yeah. I'm very
we
pleased.
just got to win. We got to build on next season.
Josh Heupel got me to pay a donation this year. Okay. All right. Let's put that on the table.
Butch Jones also got you to do that.
Nope. Never paid a donation with Butch
Jones.
Oh,
that's right. Your grandfather did, but you would.
So this year with Danny White. I don't know, man. I don't know.
You would have done it with Dooley.
No, not in 2012. Not a chance.
Oh yeah.
I think everyone saw the writing on the wall in 2012.
Your orange goggles were all over your face.
I mean, if we're going to sit here and say it'd be hard for Caleb Mitchell to give up his family season tickets, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
But I mean, if you're telling me to buy it on put it on a coach, if you slap that donation there in front of me in 2012 with Derek Dooley leading the way, I don't know. Now, if you're telling me Dooley's first year in 2010, yeah, it happens. Even though you're not happy with the hire, I'll still do it. But yeah, he's giving me a reason to believe. I like it. Believe the hype.
For sure. Let's talk about the schedule a little bit. So we mentioned Thursday, starting off things on Thursday night against Ball State. I don't know anything about them. That should be a team that you roll over. But Pitt, I think Pitt's a really interesting team. They get they lose Kenny Pickett. They had a ton of super seniors. But it's still a team that people think is supposed to be pretty good. They got Keaton Slovis from USC to, he's not going to beat Kenny Pickett, but
right.
I think he's a decent enough quarterback that he could give you some trouble if, you don't get things figured out on the back end of your defense.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big thing coming into this year. Like when you see teams like Florida who's struggling right now, things not going Billy Napier's way early on. Teams like LSU, I mean, even Kentucky, and you're like, Tennessee should probably, Tennessee has a great chance to beat them. Still a lot of questions in the secondary that go unanswered that make you, weary about slapping a win on that or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, and you have some, you don't get a great draw with at LSU, and then you got to play it, of course, Alabama every year.
I think that's a great freaking draw. What do you mean?
I mean, it is because we get to go, but would you rather play LSU or Mississippi?
And it's at LSU the week before. So, week before Alabama. So, yeah, no, I agree. I mean, but that's really the only grueling part of your schedule, no?
Yeah, I mean, Florida, LSU, Alabama, yeah.
Florida, you got an off week between Florida and LSU.
That's true. Yeah, you do have a bye week in there.
And then you get the standard conference schedule to finish out the year. But when you look at it, I mean, it's Kentucky, Georgia, so that'll be a tough 2 weeks. I think Tennessee Kentucky rivalry is at the point. I think they're all going to be close. I'm so I mean, besides Tennessee's blowout 19, which was just absurd, and came at the hands of the worst quarterback in probably SEC history. I don't know if you could find an SEC quarterback with worse statistics. It would be
He's
hard
the
to do.
best kept secret in the NFL draft. Hales. I don't know
That's
what
very
you're talking
true.
about.
Very true. But I think, unless Tennessee breaks away, I don't think it's going to be Kentucky because they've had the best years in their football history and they haven't done it. And I'm just not counting on corduroy is not the right word, khaki man to do it. I don't see them breaking away. So unless Tennessee just does something, and that's not to say Tennessee can't blow them out. You look at them offensively, they have the ability to score a lot of points. But yeah, so that part's pretty tough. But then you go Missouri, South Carolina, Vanderbilt. Missouri's not played well back half of the season. Under MIT over there, and then South Carolina, I'd fully expect Spencer Rattler to completely implode the team by November 19th. So yeah, I mean the back half of the schedule isn't terrible.
I like that. Yeah, have them implode.
The signs, like the red flag of a guy with problems is going, I've changed.
November 19th, it's going to be a little cold. Like, how does he deal with cold?
Well, it's probably his wide receiver's fault. So,
oh, for sure. Yeah.
Or Lincoln Riley's fault. I love to, and I'm not saying Lincoln Riley handled that QB situation like the best because I don't think he did. But we're talking about a guy who's coached multiple Heisman winning quarterbacks, and all of a sudden he couldn't get it right with Spencer Rattler.
Sounds like a him problem.
And then you expect me.
So Lincoln Riley is the problem. It's not Spencer Rattler.
And then you expect Daddy's boy to get it right with him. Get out of here.
Yeah, how embarrassing was their spring game?
Well, their intro was equally embarrassing.
They're just not like. I don't get the hype.
They're not good.
No.
Spencer Rattler could be a Heisman type quarterback, and they won't be that good.
No, they won't. I would have Will Levis 100 times out of 100 over Spencer Rattler.
Oh, yeah, especially as it stands today.
I mean, turnover prone in the Big 12? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He's going to get destroyed.
What happens when he has to hand the ball off 3 times in a row? Is he even going to come back on the field?
Probably not. He damn sure ain't going to go under center.
Right. Listen, I'll say the same thing I said about JG when he sat on the bench against Tech. I'm sure a lot of that was Butch Jones' fault. I'm sure he probably lied to him before the game, so they were probably going to change out series or something. But you don't have to be a little pouty crybaby about it. Where's that going to get you?
Right.
Spencer Rattler, I'm sure he's had coaches and things not go his way and people lie to him. And I'm sure Lincoln Riley, like I said, didn't handle that situation the best. But that doesn't change the fact that he's a crybaby about it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Beamer ball.
Yeah, he'll get it done. Steve Spurrier couldn't, but Shane Beamer will.
How long was Spurrier at South Carolina?
I have no idea.
And he's their winningest coach. And
Is he really?
And I feel like it wasn't very long.
I mean, define very long, because I feel like it was probably pretty close to like 8 years. I want to say something like that. I'm gonna look it up. I mean, he was there for a while. But to be their winningest coach, that's insane. He was there for 10. I almost said 10, but I was thinking his last year for some reason was in 13, and I knew that wasn't true. And I knew he wasn't there in 2003.
That's
so 10 years.
That's longer than I thought it was.
Yeah. No, I knew it was a pretty long time. But yeah, and then just top of just absolute, I can't find a better word for it. So shit show South Carolina is. They hired Will Muschamp after he failed at Florida. One of the easiest places it's one of the easiest places to be successful in the SEC and the SEC East, and he was terrible.
Where did they hired Mullen end up? Is he coaching?
The better question is, where did Dan Mullen's wife end up? He is. I mean, he's probably an analyst somewhere. It doesn't have him listed as anywhere, but that doesn't make it so.
Oh, that man's taking it off. He got that buyout money.
Well, when you put on a Darth Vader mask in a press conference, you're pretty much telling everyone that I need a mental health break.
Cousin Eddie.
Yeah.
Shooter's
I
full.
mean, you think he's still wearing Jordans?
Probably.
See, that's another thing about. So Tony Vitello wears Jordans, looks like a G. And then you got Coach Heupel in the Air Force Ones. It doesn't feel forced. Like Dan Mullen looks like he does not want to be
Well,
wearing
he has
them.
to show them off like every time.
Yeah.
It's like no one.
No.
I mean, it's just cringe. Like,
Would he be wearing them if Jordan wasn't a sponsor? That's my question. And if the answer is no, then he's not a Jordans guy and he shouldn't be wearing them.
right. Brian Kelly.
God, what a
I mean, it's talking about cringe. I don't know how good they're going to be. I mean, it is at LSU. I know that's a hard place to play at, but they got Jaden Daniels and they'll have Miles Brennan. Jaden Daniels had a great freshman year at Arizona State. After that, he's kind of been trash. So I know he's probably the favorite to win that job, but I don't know. I don't know what LSU is really going to look like. I know they lost some guys in the transfer portal, but it's easy to recruit to LSU.
right. So Tennessee will play 3 new SEC coaches this year. That's seems pretty crazy.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody will play anymore, but
Who is
wild
it?
to me. Billy Napier, Brian Kelly, and oh shoot, no, I was counting Shane Beamer. That's not right.
Okay. Gotcha.
So just two.
Gotcha.
And then I don't know if that's SEC. I have no idea what Ball State, Akron, and UT Martin's situation.
Florida's not going to be good, right?
My only holdup with Florida is there is still talent on that roster, like any way you slice it. And then you do have the momentum of a first-year head coach. You play him early in the season. I think Florida is still a good team. Like it'll finish middle to upper end of the SEC East. I don't know how good. I'm with you. I don't think they'll be very good, but I think they'll still be fine.
Yeah, I think that Pitt and that Florida game is the games you're like, if you can be 4-0 going into LSU, I think you got a pretty good chance to be really good.
Oh yeah, and you get Alabama at home.
You got Florida at home too.
Sign me up. Sign me up for that environment. Sign me up for that tailgate. Because that game we still have CBS, don't we? Is this last year? Make it at Danny White.
I think LSU is supposed to be a night game though, if that makes you feel any better.
A little bit better. Danny White. If Tennessee is 4-0, 5-0 going into Alabama, that game better be at 7 p.m. I want the loudest, drunkest, most obnoxious fans in the country. I want Nick Saban to whine about how this environment is just not good for football. This isn't how it's supposed to be played. There are rules, unwritten rules, whatever. I want it.
So quit asking.
I want it all. And I want some good officials. I don't know how we get that, especially against Alabama, but I want it.
Easy. You're asking for a lot there. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, easy on that.
All right.
I'll take a 3:30 game and good officiating.
All right. Tennessee win. You can only have one.
Yeah, I know. I'll take a 3:30.
Well, no, I got a question though.
Okay.
Tennessee can only have one. An SEC championship or a win over Alabama. So that means you lose to Georgia in the regular season.
Do you still go to the college football playoff?
I guess it's possible. You have to have the right. Everything else has to work out, but we can't decide that. So that's on the line. It's on the line because you're on the bubble.
Nuts. I want to go to the big. I want to go to the big one. I'd love to beat Alabama, but hey, we lose to them every year. I'm kind of used to it by now. Let's get to the college football playoff.
What if Alabama gets in because they're Alabama? So they're, 2-loss team, sneak in. You're an SEC champ, and you lose to Alabama in the college football playoff because you can't beat Alabama that year. Nowhere can you beat Alabama.
There's no way they get in.
Well, we do play LSU, A&M. A&M beats them, goes to the SEC championship game. So they're a 2-loss team. They get in somehow. This is my scenario. I can do what I want.
I mean, I guess in that instance, if you can guarantee that you're not going to win a national championship.
I can't. Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, you could guarantee that. Okay. So you take the win over Alabama, lost to Georgia. Maybe you lose to Alabama again in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's how you win the national championship. Beat
You lose?
Alabama, you get in as a one-loss team, and you get another win over Alabama.
We go 2-0 in Bama against Bama and win a natty. Dude,
2-0
they're
in
never
Bama,
living that.
2-0 against Bama, we still lose the national championship game.
Oh god.
Either way, we lose the national championship game for Tennessee.
We play a team like Michigan or somebody that's not even that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
We lose to Ohio State, and Urban Meyer comes back from
the grave.
fingering blondes.
Yeah, same
Middle
thing.
of the game, he's at a Columbus bar, and Ryan Day calls him up to coach the second half, and they beat Tennessee.
That's Spencer Rattler's dream, right? Is to be Urban Meyer. I mean, that's what he was trying to do in QB1,
health
right?
issues?
Yeah.
Had health issues. I want to know what he got expelled for.
I know.
I'd like to know. Well, we speculate. We don't know for sure.
Man, that man was.
Well, I've heard a few different rumors. I've heard one consistent rumor, but only
That man was
handful.
chest bumping in the bathroom.
Oh, so that's a rumor you heard?
Yeah.
I heard it was drug related. That's the one I've heard the most often.
I heard he got caught.
Would that get you expelled? Would that get you expelled though?
Bro, you can't be just balls deep in somebody in the girls' bathroom.
Well, the girls might change it, but I don't know if that gets you expelled. I mean, unfortunately, I know, like, I've heard a lot of stories of things like that, and they're just suspended.
It probably wasn't his first offense either.
Expelled. Does that man not have a car?
I don't know.
Listen, girls that'll do stuff like that with you in the
This is before
restaurant
NIL,
school
Caleb.
ain't girls you want to be doing that to at all.
Players didn't get paid back then.
Listen, I think I think it's clear Spencer Rattler's decision making just isn't on par. So good luck, Shane Beamer. Good luck.
All right, one last question about this. Vanderbilt's gonna be terrible. They can't even win a spring game. Georgia. How good are they?
God, dude. I mean,
they lost a lot.
They had kept a lot, though, is my argument. I mean, they're going to be very good. I don't know how good. I think it's with the transfer portal. I think it's really, really hard to really. I think if you pick the national championship right now, you're insanely lucky. You're not very smart. I think you're insanely lucky. So I don't know Georgia is probably the favorite to win the SEC. Georgia is the favorite to win the SEC East, thanks to, I think, a lot of teams not being their best.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would favor them to win the SEC. I don't favor them to win the college football playoff just because what you said, they do lose a lot. They kept a lot, though. They're going to be very, very good. They're probably in the college
Bennett's
football playoff.
Still their quarterback, though.
Stetson Bennett. I mean, I hate it, dude. I hate it, but he won a national championship. I know that defense helped a lot.
He did. I mean, how bad does that look? How bad does that kind of make offensive coordinators or even Kirby Smart look when you've had so much more talent at that position and haven't done anything with it? Or was this just the perfect storm? You had to kind of balance it. You had to have a game manager where he wasn't going to turn the football over.
I mean, I think you could have had any quarterback on for this defense, if we're going to be honest. So I'm not giving all the credit to Stetson Bennett, but I mean, yeah, maybe there is something to playing good, efficient football when you have a defense like that. And a lot of people want to say that it's funny. I said it. Nick Saban talks about how the game's changed and how he had to adapt. If he wanted to win like that, he could. Like, he has the pieces to do it.
100%.
And not that the offense was just completely lousy. They had to make big plays. They had to win some games, but that was not the offense that has won the national championship the last 3 years.
No.
So they're very good. I mean, that's the bottom line. I hope.
I think that defense takes a step back. I mean, they lose a ton. LeCount, and they lose Nakobe Dean. That
it doesn't
front.
It doesn't help Stetson Bennett. I'll say that.
Yeah,
things don't get easier for him.
No, I mean, I definitely. They don't beat Alabama next year. I'll say that.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
I like it.
Alabama still is the best player in the country.
Oh, I don't disagree. They're going to
And
play in
it-
the SEC championship game if they play.
And it's not Bryce Young.
Oh, who are you going with?
God, what's his name? Edge rusher.
Why are you asking me questions about defense? Remember what Nick Saban said?
I don't know why I can't think it was Will Anderson.
Okay. All right. So defense is going to win another championship, is what I heard.
He's the best player in college football. He should have won a Heisman.
Don't give the committee any more ideas. Don't. I mean, they just slapped what's his name from Michigan in there for fun.
Yeah, he was, and that's blasphemy. Yeah, maybe Will Anderson. Maybe he doesn't win the Heisman, but he's better than Aiden Hutchinson. I'll say that. Way better.
Can't argue with that. All right. Anything else you want to mention for the schedule, or are we ready to get to some segments?
Yeah, let's get to some segments.
Get you guys out of here. So we'll do this. Most important of the week. I've got the Lady Vols. I've got the Lady Vols, but on the daddy
on the
hat.
wrong day, my guy.
Oh shoot! Well, you did it, by the way, not me.
Did I put? What did I put?
Most important and fail.
Oh, I didn't change it on the thing, but I sent it to you.
Yeah. You may have sent it to me. You may have sent it to me.
Sorry.
I copy from Twitter. When I post the show, I copy from Twitter. No, you're good. You're good. I mean, no, listen, you messed up. Happens to the best of us. We just got to rebound. We got to rebound. Listen, we got to work through our mistakes. It's fine. All right. Well, stupidity then.
I'll do one most important because I think this is hilarious. Memphis in their game. Did you see this?
I don't think I did.
All the fans are chanting, "Whoop that trick" in their arena.
It's just 2008.
I don't know, but I listened to it. It would get me hyped too.
I mean, I understand.
I'll send you the video. You can go watch it. It's good.
My most important was going to be the Lady Vols.
Okay.
Are they not playing tonight? They are playing tonight. I don't know what the score is. It's not updating. But dude, the mommy has the dad. Then it's just electric stuff, man. Electric.
I love it.
I'm trying to pull up the game right now. I'm glad you. I guess stupidity. I was going to be a fail, obviously. Did you see that video out today?
What'd you say?
The tackle. Did you see that video of the tackle I tweeted?
Oh
out
yeah,
today?
I did see that.
Oh my gosh, dude. Listen. Great form. You know, Dave Van Horn would have been proud. I'm gonna have to look up the actual team names. I can't remember who it was. It was two small Texas schools.
I mean, that's a personal foul targeting. That's North
Central and
automatic.
Weatherford. I don't know what that is.
I don't know. That's an ejection.
Well, here's what I don't understand.
Charge. I mean,
That's
it's
better.
so many things in one.
That's better than throwing a fastball at someone's head, if we're just going to be 100% honest. So if you're okay with that, then you should be rooting on the tackle. Because the guy got up from that and jogged to home, or jogged to first. I mean, jogged to home, not to first. Jogged to home plate. He touched home plate after that. We're not carrying him out. He's not concussed and out for the next game.
Well, that guy knew he was coming out anyway after that bomb he gave up. So
yeah, he's like, I'll take himself out. Let's do this. Right. I also wanted to know I mean, I'm sure he had a righteous bat flip, but he obviously said something around in second. I'd like to know what he said. Not that I think it makes it okay. I'd just like to know what he said personally.
Head on a swivel at all times.
For real. How great would that have been if he would have seen him coming and just like a freaking Madden stop juke?
Yeah, just old lady.
Seeing that guy slide that into the dugout. Also, shout out to the coaching staffs for not letting that escalate. I don't know how an entire team gets out of the dugout and a fight doesn't erupt. So shout out to that coaching staff.
Oh, dude, that's one of my teammates. We're going to war.
I mean, the coaching staff was on the ball, so credit to them. I was impressed.
I will say this: if Josh Ealer grabbed me up and said stop, I would stop immediately.
He's a big dude.
He is a big dude.
He's a big guy. I also liked, I think it was Diamond Balls tweeted out today about how Coach Elander's undefeated in SEC play, and
He
it's
is.
time to get rid of Tony V. They were joking, guys. They were joking. So.
Yeah. He is 3-0. You can't deny it. That's padding the resume right there.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. For coaching waiting, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Also, can we get a third paid assistant? Nothing against Richard. Nothing. I love Richard. Friend of the pod, but I need Kid back on campus, man. I mean, it's fun to see him talk from afar, but
Let's get 4 paid assistants.
All right, I'm in. You got me. Sign me up.
Just keep this puppy rolling. I mean, it's really not fair when you look at the amount of kids that are on this like a baseball roster, and then you have like coach to player ratio in football. I mean, it's not even close.
And I don't understand how you can have paid analysts in football. And I know they're not supposed to be allowed to, like, I don't think they're supposed to interact with players, but like you saw Butch Jones talking to players on the sidelines on ESPN.
He was smoking a cigar with them.
I mean, Jesus, is there? Which, by the way, Butch Jones' favorite cigars, this is a true story, are cigarillos. So if you need to know how bad that man's taste is, his favorite cigars, if you ask him, are cigarillos. So.
Good God.
Moron. Yeah. The highest paid man in the state of Tennessee was smoking cigarillos, or highest paid public employee for shits and gigs.
Should have been.
I have more respect than that. Actually, I'm gonna get some cigar. Are you gonna smoke a cigar with me? Oh, you can't.
I can't. No,
you can't. Dadgummit.
We did beat Alabama, but it's not in football.
Not the same. It's not the same. Not the same. No, I mean, no offense to the baseball program. It's not tradition. We do it often. We don't need to. So,
yeah.
You have stupidity? Tennessee's down 5-2, by the way, in the bottom of the 6th. Runner on first, 1 out.
So I did think this is hilarious. DeMarcus Cousins was asked, what did Sacramento do for me? Besides say my name on draft day, I did more for them than they did for me. That's just being honest, just being 100% honest. I don't know why I had to say that twice, but I guess for dramatic effect. Had 2 owners, 3 GMs, 7 coaches in 7 years. I was there 7 years. Again, said that twice, but dramatic effect. First of all, him having to repeat himself, he doesn't seem too sure. And then George Karl, his former coach, said paid you approximately $50 million and gave you the opportunity to play professional basketball for a living.
See, I mean, you know, I'm going to disagree with what DeMarcus Cousins is saying there.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And listen, I mean, I'm not trying to hate on like a guy like Brian Maurer who tweeted about it, but you wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for fans and wasn't for like it would just like there is a coexist. I don't know. It's so just narcissistic to think you couldn't have this without me. It's so narcissistic.
And it's like, dude, what have you done for anybody else?
Right.
Like it's not like you've been a dominant player in the NBA since you left Sacramento.
And I mean, I respect what these guys put in on a daily basis. I do. I mean, I think they deserve more than the fans, but it just like you wouldn't get the privilege if it wasn't for that.
Yeah, you weren't even the best player on your college team.
Oh, I think I'm gonna do my next.
When they say Kentucky National Championship, who do they think about?
Probably Brad Calipari.
John Wall.
Nothing earned.
Marcus Cousins, John Wall.
Everything earned, nothing given, everything earned.
Right.
Tattooed across his chest.
DeMarcus does?
No, Brad Calipari does.
No, he does not.
I swear to God.
I hate that guy.
That man is like a walk-on. Flew to I think it was a Drake concert in Toronto on a private jet. And I mean, golly, dude. You can't make that crap up. I love it. That's why I misspoke. It should be nothing earned, everything given, but I misspoke.
Yeah.
So he
That's all
did
I got.
not when he spoke to his tattoo artist. That's all I got too. I'm gonna get out of here. I got some stuff to do. Get ready for this weekend. Gonna finish up watching the
We've
Tennessee
talked
game.
a lot this tonight. I'm about to throw up.
I know. I'm thinking we should do a 3-hour radio show every day.
That'd be great.
Serious, hit me up.
Shout out.
Oh, all right, guys. We appreciate it. Landon's gonna be the next Bobby Bones because we're about to.
Hell no! Don't put that on me.
I just had to with the what happened today.
With
what happened today, I had to. I'm sorry. I apologize for you. That you caught a stray there, Landon. It just needed to be put out there. So, by the way, I hate Bobby Bones. I hate Bobby Bones. It's just the only time I see him is he pops up on if I've listened to a certain person be interviewed, it'll pop up that he did an interview with them, and it's terrible. It's always the worst.
Gross. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Still the villains. Free Tony.